Okay, we're back with talking movies. Talked a little bit earlier about what makes a good scary movie. Now we're going to talk about bad scary movies. Luke?
Oh, there's tons of them. Pretty much half of any Italian horror movies from the 70s and 80s are pretty cheesy. I don't know. Another genre I think that's going to get a lot of love in the cult world is going to be the bad Scream ripoffs from the 90s. Like any of the sequels to... Oh, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is one of the few movies that I've actually turned off.
I Still Know What You
You
Did
did last summer, yeah.
You mean it should be,
I think I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I Know What You Did 2 summers ago?
Yeah. And the only thing that was redeeming was Jack Black being this Rastafarian, and then he gets the hook.
Jack Black is in it?
Yeah. And then he gets killed. There's just too many bad ones to think of right now. But
I honestly can't think of any bad ones, even though the majority of horror movies are terrible, which makes the good ones so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are definitely diamonds in the rough. The good ones are.
Since you mentioned Scream, I mean,
I like the
three Scream movies are great.
Yeah.
Fourth one,
Fourth one wasn't bad, it just wasn't necessary.
wasn't necessary at all.
Especially when you find out who the killer is in the end, it's a little...
So I also haven't seen it, but there's no drive for me to see it either.
Well, you could probably guess who the killer is.
Yeah.
Killer. I mean,
I actually went on, we won't say a blind date. I knew who she was, but I went on a first date with a girl to Scream 2, and that was the first, that's how we started the night, and she just would not shut up about the movie and how bad it was afterwards, and it just got really awkward, and I'm just like, yeah, it wasn't great. Let it go, let's talk about something else. So, I mean, apparently that one is not very good to some people. I don't think I've even ever watched it again since that experience, but
I like Scream too.
I like the first three are great.
But yeah, like, I had to go on a date to Grudge 2, and that was pretty unbearable, almost. Just, I don't know, daydreaming a lot throughout that movie.
You know, I actually saw the first Grudge in the theater,
Yeah.
and there's parts, have you seen it?
Yeah.
There's parts where, like, in the movie where water's dripping, and the theater we were seeing it at actually had water dripping from the ceiling.
Oh.
So it really added to the atmosphere, and I'm sure the remake sucked. I can't remember. But it made the experience worse than what the movie probably actually
Yeah.
was. It was
Sarah-
It's like a William Castle.
Sarah Michelle
Yes.
Gellar, yeah.
Is she in all four of them? Or three?
I
First two.
think
She dies in the second one.
Oh,
Sorry to ruin it.
I think it just saves people.
Yeah, it just saved you 90 minutes.
well, you know, and I think the thing with horror movies too is when they make one good one, you know they're gonna have 2, 3 more.
Well,
you
the
know,
thing with horror movies is the return on them is good because people are going to watch them no matter
Yes.
what, and they're cheap to make.
Yeah, they make $15 million, and they make
Well, even
$50 million, make a profit, turn out another one.
and then we can put Jason in space.
yeah.
Oh.
With David Cronenberg, by the way, who's in that movie.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's in
Jason X?
Yeah.
I gotta do that to get financing for Crash.
Wow.
But
not
yeah.
the Oscar winner Crash, the other Crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
The good Crash.
17 Crash.
So, I mean, I've seen tons of bad horror movies. Actually, I've enjoyed a few bad horror movies. I don't know if you guys have seen The Ginger Dead Man.
Oh, with Gary Busey?
Yes.
Yes.
Who plays a maniac who gets shot to death at a restaurant, and his blood gets into cookie batter, and gets baked into little gingerbread man who goes around terrorizing a bakery.
Interested and hungry.
Yeah, and yeah.
I've seen the trailer.
Very interesting. Another one is Thanksgiving with a demonic turkey.
That's not bad.
Terrible movie, but I guarantee if you have alcohol with a group of people, you're gonna eat it up. It's only 60 minutes long. You can't go wrong with it.
Huh. Wow.
What else, Luke? You've seen some
Oh,
bad ones.
gosh.
Poultrygeist?
Poultrygeist, well, it's a more of a comedy, but with horror elements.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's cheesy. It's not for the squeamish. It's pretty disgusting. There's some good musical numbers in it, too.
Musical numbers.
Yeah. That's another thing. If you can combine music with horror, that I give my hat's always off to you. God, I'm trying to think. my roommate was watching this one. I can't remember what it's called. It's a recent one, but they go into a house and, of course, the house is haunted and they get trapped in there.
No.
Yeah. But then someone gets killed by
I'm scared
a
already.
chair flying through the air and hits him and he gets killed. And all I could think of was Mystery Science Theater 2000 because it would say,
What movie
have a
is it?
seat.
Yeah,
You
what
know?
movie was it?
Westernly Lane or something.
I
It's a recent one.
Hmm.
But I can't remember the name. There's another one. It was this zombie movie from early 80s. And there's a scene where she's this anthropologist and she meets this African tribe. But all the African tribe footage is like stock footage from like a different documentary like years ago. So, but she takes like off all her clothes and she's just like walking around in like someone's backyard pretty much it looks like. But then there's all this like, she'll look over to like the side here and then there'll be a shot of this African tribe and just, it's like Ed Wood bad, like nothing matches up. And then, yeah, and it's their death rituals. And it's supposed to like to gross you out and creep you out, but there's like no point in the whole movie about
Was
it.
it Cannibal Holocaust or?
It was no, it was kind of like that, but I can't remember what it was called. But I found it last stop, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely not watching. Like I felt like I wasted 100 minutes of my life after it.
You know, I think with a horror movie too, there's kind of that balance of, you know, sometimes those horror movies have way too big of a budget, and then they just, you know, they introduce, you know, wolves when they don't have to have wolves,
Mhm.
or, you know. But that being said, when that budget is limited, sometimes if you have the right director, he can pull off something really well, he or
Oh,
she.
yeah.
But sometimes, you know, obviously the overall project suffers when there isn't enough budget, because you can tell they want to do something more, but they have to settle for something.
Yeah, like a big budget, like when A Stranger Calls, the remake, you know, JoJo. You
Oh,
know,
that's JoJo?
yeah.
I think it's maybe Zombie 2. Is that the one with the underwater?
Yes, the
shark
shark fighting
yeah,
scene.
yeah. I think of that scene in that movie where that chick is pulled into that piece of wood, and
Yeah,
at
that's-
the last moment, her eye becomes a hard-boiled egg and doesn't even squirt. It just kind of goes, you know.
Yeah.
I like that you mentioned Jason in Space, because I always go back to, I have seen once, and I'll probably never ever see it again, but Leprechaun 4 in Space. Have you seen that?
Actually, multiple times.
Okay. I want to dive into some spoiler territory. Sorry. How you should YouTube it. Just it's like a 30-second clip of how the Leprechaun
Gets
gets onto the spaceship, because they go. I think they land on Leprechaun's planet or something
They
like
landed
that.
on a planet where he got banned to, I think. From which movie? I don't remember.
And one of the guys, he
That's in the prequel.
I think they kill a leprechaun. They find a dead one, and then he.
No, they kill him, and then
Okay, they kill him, and then he pees on the dead body of the leprechaun, and some leprechaun mist or something comes while he's taking a piss on the dead leprechaun. Some mist goes into the peace tree, and it goes.
Did you say spoiler alert or soiler alert? Sorry.
So this mist, this leprechaun mist, goes into this guy's body through his genitals, and that's how he gets onto the spaceship. He explodes out of the guy's crotch when they get back onto the ship, because of the leprechaun mist. I'm not kidding. You should. It's like 30 seconds. There's a clip on just that part.
I think
on
there's a lot
YouTube.
of symbolism about that.
When is this coming out in 3D?
Oh.
Criterion Collection, Blu-ray.
And oddly enough, I saw this a long time ago and it stuck with me just because of how terrible it is. And that's the only Leprechaun movie that I've ever seen.
And now the only place he's allowed is the hood, apparently. Okay.
Wait, is the hood after space?
I don't.
yeah,
He goes-
yeah. But then he goes back to the.
He-
Yeah.
I think horror movies have to know their limits.
Yeah.
Don't piss on a leprechaun.
Yeah.
That's when I was talking about monetary. But
Oh, okay.
but that too. Yeah. What are some of the movies that are like the big budget ones? What are we talking about?
I'm
Big
thinking
budget.
like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. That had a very big budget, you could tell. And it was very unnecessary, and it wanted to be more like in the vein of Hostel and stuff, which I don't think is that bad of a movie. But yeah, they just want to make it really torturous, but they can never match up to the original. And then even the remake that I thought was decent too. Yeah, I don't know. Just that's one example. Valentine or anything with like big stars. Cold Creek Manor.
Wait, big stars?
Yeah.
Sharon Stone.
Who's in that?
And Dennis Quaid.
I knew Dennis Quaid was in it. No, sure.
Sharon
I saw
Stone.
Cold Creek Manor in the theater.
Yeah.
Blind
I'm
Date.
not exactly sure why.
Yeah. But yeah, just
But I
anything. Yeah, just they put a lot of money into it.
Sure.
I don't. Yeah, horror's kind of a. It's like comedy. It can either be really good or really bad. It just depends on how it goes and
Well, and
the talent.
I think to some aspects you got to leave it to the dorks who grew up watching it, want to make, want to continue it. You can't, you can't throw out an actor who's never been in a movie like that before, or a director try his hand at it, because ultimately his past is going to come in there somewhere, and he's going to want to.
I think that's why Cabin in the Woods is so.
He's going to want to teach you something, and you know.
I highly recommend Cabin in the Woods to anybody. I think it's very accessible.
Yeah.
Or even if you like horror movies or not.
Another good one I guess wasn't necessarily called it's more of a scary than a horror movie just because of the visual aspect. But the Reef, the recent shark movie, The Reef, that uses actual shark footage. That movie scared me. I had blankets right here. It was good, especially because it's actual shark footage.
I saw it, and it didn't affect me. I was quite bored. I mean, no offense.
It's okay.
I
Well, that opposed to the other one. What was that other one?
Open Water was
Yes.
that kind of set apart.
Yeah, but they didn't even show a shark in that entire movie. This one uses actual shark footage.
I think it works better with not showing.
I don't know.
Because there's that shot where it's at night and the storm is there, and
Oh,
the lightning strikes, and then you see that they're surrounded by sharks the whole time. The less is more.
I think an effective shark movie will creep the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be Jaws ever, but
Well, no. But The Reef.
Yeah.
Scary. I was trying to think of the last movie that I was on the edge of my seat. It probably would have been that.
Yeah.
it was sinister for me. But
I think, sometimes it depends on, we've talked before about moods and stuff, and how whenever you watch a movie, you've mentioned that you should watch certain movies, alone at night in the dark, or whatever. One movie that I'll never forget, and I don't think I've only ever watched it once, is People Under the Stairs, because I watched it at a, so to speak, tender age. Like I probably shouldn't have been watching it, that type of thing, and that movie always just kind of freaked me out. So.
Yeah, that one actually, I remember that too.
I think they're making a sequel to that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I just remember my cousins always
remake or
talking
whatever,
about it.
People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, and I remember my cousins always talking about it. And I lived in a big old house on the farm, and they had like the big old vents like they had, and you just could hear like just old house things, and they would say like, yeah, there's like people that like live in the walls and stuff, and it always like creeped me out.
I think for years before I walked down a flight of stairs, I made sure they were closed on the back just because of that movie. It's just the little things that weird like that. That's stupid.
I think that movie made me run down the stairs faster than
Yeah.
anything.
Okay, this has been Talking Movies. Again, hope we didn't scare you with the video, but we are a division of Metal Fraker Productions. That's METALFRAKER. You can find us on Facebook. Thank you.
See you.